Dravinam tameva tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Thou my mother, thou my father, thou my friend and companion, thou my knowledge, thou my everything, thou art all in all, O Lord of Lords. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. So we are in the Narada's way of divine love, and we are reading the verse number 46, which was giving us Narada. This says Narada was giving us the idea who can cross this unsurmountable mountain of Maya, the obstacles which we face due to Maya. Who can cross this Maya? And the verse number 47 says, Yo lokabandham unmulayati, he who gives up all attachments to the laukiko, the phenomenal, the worldly, and nistraygunno bhavatu, who becomes, who transcends the three gunas, and those who can give it to God in such a way that he does not think how he will eat, or who will look after him or her. Total surrender. That is called the yoga kshemam bhavati. He who tyajati, gives up. The effort to yoga, to collect things for our survival, and effort to protect what I have. Because I have little something, how shall I survive? We try to protect. But a lover of God, who have crossed the Maya, they will have no thought of morrow, as Christ said. There will be no thought of tomorrow. Like the birds didn't think of what will happen tomorrow. It is the totally renouncing people have that spiritual attitude. He gives everything to God. He knows that everything is happening by the will of God. As Ramakrishna said, even the leaf of a tree does not move without the will of God. So if that type of surrender comes, he becomes free. He does not have to worry about anything, because he knows my God is there. Whatever happens, for my good. That's all. So he does not take the responsibility for his protection, his preservation. But before that, he had to go to the beyond the three gunas, and he will have the condition that he loves to spend his time in what is called in recluse, in going into solitude. Solitude means in the inner depth. Solitude may be in the forest, in the cave, but that solitude is the physical solitude. Going there even, people may be restless, but here going inside. As you withdraw your mind and think of God inside, you are in such a place no one can catch you. No one can catch you. So these are the qualities has been given, and we were reading its explanation from the book of Swami Prabhupada, and he was explaining. We came up to the verse number 46, we are continued, 47, we continued that. First we read the who indeed overcomes Maya, and the first point, one who lives in solitude, Second, who cuts to the bondage of the world. There is no tie to the world. As like Swami Vivekananda said, that I am free. I don't keep anyone in bondage, and I am not in bondage with anyone or anything in the world. I am a soul, free soul. So that is the idea, cuts through the bondages of this world. He goes beyond the three gunas, and he depends upon the Lord even for his nurturing, living and sustenance. So we are reading of that, and we have read up to the second point, the triguna. We have read the first point, where we said on verse number 47, there we read that he who lives in solitude, we have read that explanation as mentioning Ramakrishna's quote on page 111, and then on page 112 we also, who lives in solitude, that has been explained, and on page 13 we have read at the bottom, who cuts through the bonds of this world. That means that explanation we have read, and Swami has explained, we are quoting, that when the milk of the mind has been turned into curd, the butter of divine love, it does not become attached to the world. Milk becomes attached to, if you put water, then the milk will be diluted and it mixed with the milk. But if someone pours water when it is butter, it will not make any difference. Butter will float. It will not mix with the milk, neither with the water. So it does not become attached to the worldliness. Such a person is freed from bondage of the world. Not that he necessarily runs away from the world, or if he is a householder, runs away from his parents, wives and children. But he learns to see his family as God's family. That is the divine eye, divine attitude develops in them. That is the way they become detached from the three gunas. The whole world is a mixture of three gunas, so nilloka bandham unmulayati. Now he says that who goes beyond the three gunas, that is explained now. On page 114, verse number 47, that has 1, 2, 3, 4 points. This is the third point of that person who can cross the ocean of Maya, that is Nishtrayigunno Bhavati. Bhagavad Gita says, Nishtrayigunno Bhavarjuna. O Arjuna, you go beyond the three gunas. Trigunna Vishaya Veda. Whatever you see in this world, even in spiritual texts, that is attached with three gunas, and you go beyond the gunas. This Nishtrayigunna. So the best commentary on this is to be found in the 14th chapter of the Gita, which I will summarize as follows. That we see here, Swami Prabhupada Maharaj is actually quoting the Bhagavad Gita. What he says, Krishna tells Arjuna, his devotees and friends, that the three gunas, types of energy, comes forth from the Prakriti, the primordial force, Mahat Tattva. Tin gun comes out of the Mahat Tattva. Then he says these are forces. Sattvagun, Tamagun, Rajagun are all the three forces. What it does? It goads you. It takes you in that one direction. When you are possessed by tamas, you know, as it happens, it forces us to doze off. When it goes to rajas, You like it, jumping like that and going, running. Huh? When you are in sattva, that force will take you to contemplate, to pray, to be compassionate, to be very loving, to be very not fault-finding. All these characteristics. Sattva is a force. But we are not always in any of the sattva quality, rather is little rare for us. So it says, for instance, the three types of energy comes forth, and they come from the primordial nature, Prakriti, Prakriti Vikriti. That's why Ramakrishna's definition is Prakriti Vikriti Shunnam Nittam Ananda Murtim. Ramakrishna is who? He is Nittam Ananda Murtim. He is all the time of the form of Ananda, bliss, joy. And Prakriti and Vikriti Shunnam. Beyond the Prakriti and its Vikara, changes. Three gunas, it will go us to go this way or that way or that way. And that will create a change in me. When rajas will come, it will make me mad, activated in work. Or anger. Anger, frustration, these are all rajas. Tamas is veiling our knowledge, makes us depressed, lost, and forgetful about our divine nature. So he says the three gunas, types of gunas, there are three types of energy. They come from the Prakriti. I am in the middle of page 114 again. They are known as sattva, rajas and tamas. Sattva expresses itself in what? What force? If sattva force is behind you, you will understand what will come in you. Now purity, clarity of understanding, mental calmness, these will come. You know that you are in sattva quality now. You are just by the sattva. Sattva is a ghost, three ghosts. Sattva, rajas and tamas, all are ghosts. All makes us forget God. But sattva takes us closer to God. Rajas and tamas takes farther and farther away from God. So Swami says here, sattva expresses itself in purity, clarity and mental calmness. Rajas takes us to restlessness, passion and activity. People will be their nature, that's transforming their nature. The person will be motivated to this type of activity, passionate and restless. Tamas is the in ignorance. Tamas means deep ignorance. And it is inertia. Inertia means it does not want to move like a stone. It is called jada. Inert. When we sleep, a man of wisdom, even sleeping, is like inert material. Where is the expression of his knowledge, wisdom, when he is expressing that in a waking state or in meditation state? In the process of evolution, sattva represents an ideal form which is to be realized. In the process of evolution, tamas is there, rajas is there, sattva is there. But in the process of evolution, sattva quality represents an ideal form. In human progress of our human life, sattva when develops, it means you are representing an ideal form of human personality. Sattva manifesting in anything that makes it ideal. In the whole world you can find sattva, rajas and tamas, always trying to manifest. Each is fighting to win over the other. But sattva is the ideal form which is to be realized. Rajas is the force which makes it realization possible. Then sattva is the ideal. Rajas can be, if directed towards sattva, then you can sit for meditation. Same rajas. If it is directed for sattvika quality, you are preparing your mind before meditation. Reading books, singing bhajan, or listening to some inspirational something, and preparing the mind. So rajas can be goading you to higher, but normally it takes us away, because that is mixed with tamas. Sattva can be preponderance of sattva with rajas takes us towards God. Preponderance of tamas and rajas takes us opposite way. So which is prepondering there? Which is more powerful in among the three friends? They are friends, but sometimes they always want to dominate. Who wants to dominate? So rajas, the force which makes its realization possible. Tamas, the inert mass which rajas moves and shapes in order to achieve sattva quality. So the tamas is inert mass, as if he does not know anything to do, any practice, anything. But which rajas, if applied, take the help of rajas. So that's why what we do. We take the help of rajas in the morning when you get up. A body says, let me be on the bed sometime. Oh, it is little chill, it's cold. Then what you? Rajas says, no, get up. So you get up. Then you go to the shower. Rajas. That means tamas can be helped by rajas to go towards sattva. So it is how we utilize our quality of rajas and tamas, and sattva is the point. So gunas are in a state of constant interaction, and a man's mood changes whenever one guna prevails over the two others. A mood, the same person is very cheerful, very joyful and smiling and this and that. Sattva quality is there. Rajas, anger, frustration, ego, like mean qualities of the same personality. Suddenly it becomes like that. Same person. And same person becomes tamas also. So the gunas are in state of constant interaction. Sattva quality, rajas and tamas, they all three are always interacting with each other and prevails over the one. One will dominate, other two will prevail over them. Sattva goes up, rajas and tamas are little dominant. They become little humbled. Rajas, when it overpowers, we forget our sattva quality. Tamas, lowest quality, you forget your sattvika quality. You are a gentleman, you are a spiritual person, you are dedicated to God, you forget all your noble qualities. You behave like a beast, behave like an animal. That means there, rajas is taking a higher stand. The other two qualities are there, but they are all subdued. So this is the play. Three gunas have this, always a play. One will dominate, other two will subdue. So what we have to do? We have to do first to take help of rajas to get out of tamas. And then getting out of tamas, rajas, then you take help of the sattva to overcome rajas. And then you think of God to take out of sattva. Tamas, rajas, sattva. Krishna points out that all three gunas are bonds which imprison the dweller within the body and prevent him from knowing the Atman. Ramakrishna says these three gunas are all thieves, dacoits. They steal you. They steal your own property, spiritual property. You are Atman, pure, stainless. And that stealing them, these gunas make you a tamas person, or a rajas person, a sattvika person. Sattvika person also good, but best is the Atman state. Sattvika is manifesting the Atman a little bit more. That's why they are holy people, we call them. That's why they are sthita prajna, we call them, who dominatingly stay in sattvika quality. Now tamas is the bondage of sloth, stupidity and cowardice. Rajas is the bond of lust, greed and compulsive activity. Even sattva binds us by making us search for happiness and worldly knowledge instead of an enlightenment. Many scholars, I read this book, I know this, I know that, I know that. And people get stuck there. I know. But knowing is not the question, you be that. They forget their attention to steep into experience, rather they remain in the intellectual level, sattvika quality. Even Pandits, Ramakrishna in the whole gospel repeatedly tells, Pandits are good people, but they are like vultures. Ramakrishna has criticized that. Why vultures? They soar very high. They fly in the high altitude in the sky. But they don't look at the up in the infinite sky. What they look? With their sharp eyes, they see where there is some dead animals to eat. Where there is a piece of meat, rotten meat, he is standing high up in the highest plight. And as if he is a Gyani, has reasoned this much. In character, looking at the filthy thing, the petty things of life. So that is Pandit. And that's why even Shankaracharya even, who is a man of wisdom and always asks us to discriminate. He said that this is only Pandit people, they are for their own intellectual pleasure. It is they are enjoying their enjoyment. It is one type of enjoyment of the intellect. We enjoy food through the tongue, physical enjoyment, tongue enjoyment, taste enjoyment, tongue enjoyment, skin enjoyment, fragrance enjoyment to the nose, beautiful things, eye enjoyment. They also enjoy. What they enjoy? They are not that gross, low, but they fly very high. But attention is only ego. I am such a Pandit. Ramakrishna, how many Pandits came to Ramakrishna? No. And in spiritual India, you will find there are great Pandits. Spirituality is little higher. They will soar high and look at the vast infinite sky above, unlimited. That is the real Pandit. So even sattva binds us by making us search for happiness, worldly knowledge instead of enlightenment. So attention does not go for enlightenment, does not go for searching and getting absorbed in what we are reading, rather in explaining Bhagavaikari, Sabdajhuri, Shastra Vyakkhanu Kaushalam, the art of explaining the scriptures. Yeah, proficient. They will say, people will say, wow, what? What he said, my God. And then you ask what he said, it all went above the head. Pandits do that. And they find great pleasure in that, intellectual joy. But they miss that they have gone so far. If the attention is given little bit on the higher side, boom, spiritual freedom is knocking at their door. But Mahamaya keeps us in the sattvika bondage of sattva quality. So being there, they don't feel inclined to focus on the enlightenment aspect rather than expressing their intellect, intellectual and other things. Therefore, says Sri Krishna, the wise man must overcome the gunas in order to break the bonds and become free. He is to do this by exercise of discrimination. How to do this? Gita says, by analyzing, discriminate. This is also a bondage. Tamas is bondage, rajas is also bondage. Okay, sattva is also bondage. Then go beyond sattva. The example, Ramakrishna's example, the dacoit, 3 dacoits, and they robbed everything of the passenger. We are passengers in spiritual journey. Whatever asset we have, we are moving to search for God. First tamas comes, ha re 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 re, hu ha ha ha, catches, and then said, I may kill that guy. And first takes away all our good spiritual treasures, our love for God, our devotion, our all the noble aspects, that robbing that, take away first. And not only that, then they bind us. In ignorance, in ego, in pride, binding. And sattva comes, he says, he's a poor guy, and then unties the bond and takes him to the path of spirituality. Like Guru comes in our life, holy people comes in our life, good devotees come in our life. And they take us and guides us how far? To the edge of the forest, worldly forest. He cannot go outside. So you have to give up the sattva also. That's also a bondage for that sadhaka who has reached up to that flight. He is to do this by exercising discrimination. He must not hate the gunas and the moods which are caused by them. He must not identify himself with the actions they cause him to perform. Right? So guna, guneshu vartanta, you will analyze, I am interacting with someone, I am angry, another person is angry. You can separate yourself. Oh, what is happening here? Raja guna, Raja quality of here in him or her, and Raja quality in me, they are getting into fight. I am the witness consciousness. I have nothing to do with it. This discrimination helps us to separate out from rajas, to go towards the sattvika quality. That's why he says, he must not identify with the rajas quality or tamas quality, with their actions also. Rajas will act one way, tamas will act another way. But he will have to be witness. He must not hate the gunas and the moods which are caused by them. He must not identify, that is the point, must not identify with the tamas or the rajas or the sattva. He must remind himself that it is they who are really the doers of deeds. Tamas is working in tamas way, rajas is working in rajas way, sattva quality is working sattva way. What is that to me? I am Atman. I am neither sattva, neither rajas, neither tamas. This is called the vichara, discernment, discrimination. He observes them while remaining apart. They see that and keeps himself a little distance from the gunas. At one with Atman. He observes them while remaining apart at one with and become one with the Atman. You become one with the Atman and keeps a separation from the gunas. He regards happiness and suffering, praise and blame, riches and poverty with an equal eye, never allowing himself to give way to elation or despair. We all normally get either elated, happy, or down, depression. There is no place in spiritual life depression or elation. These are the gunas affair. You blame the gunas, you idiot guna, Thomas, you are stupid, you are making me behave like an idiot. I am Atman, I am not that. Separate out. Rajas, stupid Rajas, you are making me act like a angry guy, idiot. I am not that, I am Atman.
And this type of thought itself is?
Spiritual practice.
No, it's also that sattva or rajas. What type of buddhi is this?
Of course it is sattva, but sattva also you have to then give up. You find any pleasure in even in anything. I am pleasure itself. Why am I enjoying the pleasure? Again getting attached. Detached from there also. That's a very high level. That's why obstacles of spiritual meditation is called rasaswada. Even you are enjoying the bliss of God in meditation, and you don't want to go beyond that. That's why it is an obstacle in samadhi. So he regards happiness and suffering, pleasure and blame, praise and blame, riches and poverty with an equal eye, never allowing himself to give way to elation or to despair. And he feels no lack of anything. He does not feel that I am lacking anything because I am one with the Atman. That is my divine self. Krishna concludes by telling Arjuna, if a man worships me with unfaltering love, that is the last verse of the chapter, that 14th chapter. Yomam abhyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate. That person who bhakti yogena, with devotion and with earnestness, takes refuge in me, and he can conquer this maya. Mama maya durattaya. My maya is very difficult to cross. You may be muscle man. You may be a fighter. That will not do anything. Only God's grace can do that. That's why Momo Maya Durattaya, my Maya is very difficult to overcome. But he who takes refuge in me, I can redeem him, and he will be redeemed. So all this practice is done before. That's here we can merge the two ideas, that God's grace and your effort. You do your self-effort. Don't never think that you are going to solve the problem. After doing, you say, I surrender, O Lord, please help me. So that's the perfect blending of bhakti and jnana. That practice should be done. So Krishna concludes by telling Arjuna, if a man worships me with unfaltering love, he will go beyond these three gunas. Now the last point is coming. That to depend on God totally. This is very high state. One cannot do that unless he or she have attained a very high state of spiritual progress. What he says, it depends upon the Lord even for his living. Very simple English. Yoga Kshema. Yoga, two Sanskrit words in the Bhagavad Gita. It is called yoga and kshema. What is yoga? Yoga is that what you have, suppose you have $10,000 in your bank. You need to continue that with your rainy days, not much. Normally we try to preserve that, no? And what I have not, I am to earn, I need this. So I go and beg something to purchase something or get something more. It is called kshema. And yoga is what you have, preserve that for rainy days. Kshema, what you have not, you want to procure. But this person, this advanced person, he will not spend a second for what, to preserve what he has. Here God will take care. Actually, that happens. Suppose people think about themselves. But ultimately, what happens? Who takes care? People with, say, enormous wealth and prosperity at the point of death. Who is looking after that? What protection? It goes away. And you are always searching for, I want this, I want that, I want that, I collect this, I collect this. This effort, you are spending your time in the wrong direction. Why not absorb? This is the Maya Tito people, those people who have crossed the Maya, their attitude will be, everything will be taken care of by God. And there is one sadhu was there, he said, Durga Mai, in Benares. What is his name? I forgot. So he, one devotee is to bring food for them. The sadhu does not ask for anything, but so one day the devotee who is to bring, he said, so Swamiji, who is feeding you? That means he may say, he is feeding him. He will say that you are such and such, you are feeding. He will say, Kaun khilati? Who is feeding me? This Durga Mai khilati. It's only Mother Durga. His chosen ideal was Mother Durga. He says, Mother is feeding. Who else? These are only instruments. They don't pay attention to, oh, you have brought, thank you. Thank God only. Because they live in that higher level of consciousness. So the teachings contained in this aphorism are the highest teaching. That's the highest teaching. A person cannot follow them at all at once. One must struggle and practice to think of God more and more. Then when love for Him begins to develop in heart, the aspirant easily and naturally becomes able to follow them. This type of surrender, giving up everything to God, it is a high state of mind. It is not easily achievable. For instance, who can entirely depend upon the Lord, even for his living? But it is true. God brings unusually. You cannot believe how it becomes possible. There are many stories in the lives of every spiritual aspirant in their journey into the life. Even the householder people. They do not know. They need something devoted to God. But unexpectedly somebody comes and supplies something what he needs. No? So we may say coincidence. It is called kakutalio in a language of nyayo, logic, logician's language. It is called kakutalio. Means there is a ripened fruit, it will fall. At that time one crow just sat upon it. As soon as he sat, the fruit fell down. So some say, oh, the crow has made the fruit fall down. No? You may say. Or the fruit was falling by its own. By chance they have coincidence, law of coincidence. So the food has been brought, coincidence, because he was going through this way. He suddenly remembered, he brought for me. No. It's all been arranged by God. That's why it is said in Hindi, Dane dane par khane wale ke naam likha. It is written in every grain what food you will eat. Suppose somebody makes a plate for me and I was late and this and that, and I was not to have, this food is waiting here, but I got food somewhere else. That food was designed for me to eat on today. And this was not. Every grain, see how many grains of rice, paddy, or how many fruits are growing anywhere. What will go in your stomach that has been designed by God, that will go. Even in front of you, there may be so many fruits and things. You are selecting something, you think, no, I like it. It is designed for you only. So this must surrender. Surrender comes. So surrender is the highest. So, for instance, who can entirely depend upon the Lord even for his living? Only he who has completely surrendered himself to the Lord and who constantly feels his living presence within. God is here all the time, feel his presence, and he will do everything. I need not have to. That's why people of wisdom, they don't make any effort for their survival, their living, their protecting. God takes care of everything, even if you are in the forest. In the morning we read that in the Chutney, no? In the forest, in the deepest forest, in the fire, and in the mid-sea, oh mother, you protect everyone, no? In the Bhagavad Gita in Sri Ramakrishna tells, Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna tells, is on page 115 towards the bottom. His disciple Arjuna, what he says? Quote, "But if a man will worship me and meditate upon me with an undistracted mind, devoting every moment to me, I shall carry to him everything that he needs and protect his possessions for his loss. What is lost, I will supply. What he needs, I will carry." There is a big story. Quickly I can say that there was a Brahmin Pandit and he was totally absorbed and devoted to God. So he read this verse, what I just read in the Bhagavad Gita, said that God takes care of everything and he himself carries the need of the devotee. We say, no. Oh, this Mr. such and such helped me in this way. Mrs. such and such helped me this way. No. He said, no. God himself carries your demands. One tray of food is being taken to you. You may think that this person has brought it. Oh, this person is kind for me. No. It is God himself is carrying. So the Pandit was puzzled. Now how can he carry? The Lord of the world, he will have to come and carry my food plate or my needs for the day? Then he cut it. In those days, books were in handwritten manuscript. He took the pen. He thought that is a typo. Baham maham, yoga kshemang bahamyaham. That is written in the Gita, even now. So he cut that word, baham maham, I will carry. And he cut it in 3 strokes with a pen, black with the ink, and says he put dadamyaham. Very minor difference. Bahamyaham, here dadamyaham. Baha or dada. Only these 2 words letters are different. Bahami means I will carry. Dadami means I will arrange to give. I will manage. I'll send you. As we do. Okay, I'll send you this thing. I am not going, but I'll send it. No. God says, I myself will carry. So that created the confusion. And the Pandit was so absorbed in God, his wife and family were not having food for no fasting, because he is engaged. He does not go out for earning money or anything. And he is engaged in cutting the Gita, saying, I will carry. No, how it can be? He will send some help. And then he went out with his wife's insistence, go, we cannot bear any more our hunger. No, get something big, go to some devotees or somebody who can help. He went out and tried every nooks and corner, didn't get anything. But when he came back, to his surprise, এটা কি বলছে দেখো. So when he went back, and by this time, when he went out, his wife saw that a person coming, is a small boy, with a black complexion, very black complexion, small boy, sweet demeanor, and remind me later. ঠিক আছে, হয়ে গেছে, চলে গেছে, cut it again, fix it. So after that, the boy, he is carrying a huge load of all the needs of the family needs, no? And even basketful, huge basket food is coming, and the boy is carrying that, and he came and knocked at the door of the wife of the Brahmin. And the wife, Brahmin's wife, was very motherly. She came out and said that, "Oh my God, who has put you so much load on your head, my child?" Well, your husband. My husband, he is so unkind. I know that he is a very kind person. So for you, this child, and giving so much load, she quickly pulled it out. But for what purpose? Well, it's for you. It is for your delivery. Then he said, "Is it? Okay, Baba." And he turned his back, and he saw the 3 marks, scratches, bleeding. All through blood is coming out. The boy is bleeding in his back, bare-bodied, and what? Who has done? Well, your husband. Huh? My husband? No, it is impossible. He can never do that. Well, no, you do not know. He did it and he forced me to bring all these things. And then motherly way, this widow, that lady, well, my child, sit down, let me bring some little drinking water, and you have brought whatever is there, some sweets, I will feed you. Wait. And she went inside to bring a plate and some water, and came out and saw that the boy is gone, vanished. And some hours passed now, and the husband is coming back, thinking, "Oh my God, today also I tried, I didn't get anything, no help, not even a morsel of food. How shall I face my wife? No? I could not get anything. Today also we will have to fast." No? And as he entered the door, then the wife came out and started fighting with him. "How cruel are you?" What? Honey, you have seen that boy with such a heavy sea, has such a huge supplies of all food items and everything, and also you have 3 scratches on his back. You did. And the boy said that, "Yes, your husband has done. How could you do that?" And the husband then burst into tears and said, "You are so fortunate, you have seen the Lord Krishna. I am Pandit only, but you have the fortune to see him." And and then immediately went to the Bhagavad Gita, and then again wiped out those scratch marks. Bahamyaham, I will carry the need of a devotee, is proven. That's a very popular story we heard. So there is an interpreting legend associated with this verse. There is probably that story. There was a great scholar who was a priest. He was writing commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. When he came to this particular verse, he was puzzled for the thought to himself. He thought to himself, how would Lord Krishna carry to his devotees everything he needs? He concluded that this particular phrase was an interpolation. So he scratched out the phrases, as I said just now, Bahamyaham, I carry, and substituted the phrase Dadamyaham, I will supply. So what I said in narration, this is in brief, it is mentioned here. The scholar worked as a priest in a village some distance from his home. He managed to earn only enough for the day-to-day for himself and his family. In India, priests may marry. Now, it happened that the day he scratched out the particular phrase from the Gita, he went to the different village to do his priestly duty, and A storm arose which raged all day and night. It was impossible for him to return home. He worried all night that his wife and children would be without food until his return and the next day. However, during his absence from home, a young boy carried in a big basket loaded with fruits and groceries and handed it to the wife of the priest, saying, "Your husband cannot return until tomorrow, so he sent this basket which I have carried here for you and the children. But I must tell you, your husband scratched my forehead," oh, it is forehead, "before he sent me. You can see the marks here." Now, these stories get little colored. I say I heard this way, and Swami has heard the different, because it is an old story. It is re-spoken in different ways. This is giving an essence is the example. God carries the need of the devotees, if we are devoted in such way. Thus saying, the boy disappeared. When the husband returned home, worried that his wife and children had suffered from hunger, he apologized and said he had been unable to come home because of the raging storm. But his wife said, "Why? You sent a young boy who carried a basket of food for us, and we had a delightful feast. But what's the matter with you that you could be so cruel to the young boy?" You scratched his forehead, and there were traces of blood, contents. Then suddenly it struck the priest that it was the Lord himself who had carried to them what they needed. So in the edition of the Bhagavad Gita, which he was commenting on, he repeated the phrase Bahamyam 3 times. I carry, I carry, I carry. Huh? So I have heard one way, I reported that, and Swami also have a traditional story. So main thing is that I carry, I carry, I carry, I carry the needs of the devotees. That's very important point. That means we should have some surrender like that. There are many stories like that in the lives of sadhus that who have experienced that it is that they proven, yes, they have experienced that God is carrying their need. I will tell at some other time the stories of some sadhus who are in the high Himalayas and doing some austerities. And that was a place where there is no locality, and normally in a deep forest. And then after that he suddenly found that somebody comes with a hot milk, glass of hot milk, and feeding them and they didn't understand why did this milk, hot milk came, and when they poured it, they drank hot, and then they had to fast that day because they didn't go for begging. But afterwards they came to their senses. Who came? And they started searching here and there. There is no person around. And they say, see, Bhagavad Gita says, he will take care. Because that day they were engaged. That the Durga Puja day, day of festivity in Belur Math. So 2 sadhus in the forest, they said that we will not go for begging today. Let me see. Belur Math so much feasting, other sadhus are having bandara. What about us? Okay, we will not go for begging. If mother wants, they will send something. Or something will happen. And yes, they forgot that promise and they got engaged in studying the gospel and other reading and discussing, and totally forgot the time also. And by that time, one person came with a bowl of hot milk, and he emptied that hot milk in one cup, and then asked another cup. He has no another cup, so one finished drinking that, and then again washing that, he brought it second time. He emptied the empty pot, that sadhu, and he got another cup. So both got one big cup full of milk. So that was their experience. The sadhu told me directly, that is their experience. Okay, so where we end today, the verse number. What is the verse number I said?
47.
This is the verse we have finished today. That verse number is 47, and we'll start the verse number 48 next day, page 107, 117. Now, few minutes are there, we can go for question answer. But let me finish this class itself. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Now the question. Question is that I do not fully understand what is about sattva that keeps us in bondage. What characteristics of sattva does not let us progress beyond the worldly forest? Very good question. Very good question. Sattva quality is called sukhe sanjayati. Sattam sukhe sanjayati. In Bhagavan, in Sri Krishna says, Sattam sukhe sanjayati. Meaning, what happens, a spiritual person at a very high level of bondage. It is that sadhaka is that individual practitioner has been so deep in his concentration and focus that he has reached a deeper depth, and he is not merging into the truth, but he is still enjoying the bliss. In your meditation, sometimes you feel you enjoy your meditation, no? But if you enjoy the meditation, then you are in the state of enjoyment. But you have to go beyond to feel that you are that joy. Enjoying means what? There is something, you are somebody. Here is one good food, I am here. And seeing that food, I feel delighted. I feel I get the fragrance. And good cooking. When good cooking goes, the smell of the spices and things, already, that's why it's called granena ardha bhojanam. In Indian thought, if you are a cook, then by smelling the food, good food, your belly is full, half full, because you are getting the good smell. And if you go on engaged in and never feel like eating the food, then that's the bondage. People say, I will not eat anything, I have cooked so much and I am full. Yes, sometimes people get extremely caught there. So this is called they get caught into the pleasure seeking, high level, pleasure seeking, not sensate, but they are pleasure seeking in meditation. They are going to absorb, and just there is a mood which does not allow the seeker to go forward to merge with the Atman. He is enjoying the Atman with a little separation. That is enjoyment. But to merge, what is that story? Ramakrishna asked Vivekananda, suppose there is a cup full of syrup or honey, and you are a bee, where will you eat? He said, I will eat from the edge. I will sit on the edge and enjoy the sucking of the sweet. Well, why? Well, if I go deep, then I will die. That means when you are enjoying, you are still there, and you are enjoying the juice. But when you get into it, then you are that joy. That's the Aham Brahmasmi, Vedantic knowledge. So the duality will drop. That is higher stage. Where the duality will drop, that is the Advaitic state. That is the Samadhi state. When your identity will not be anymore, but your real identity will come up. This false identity will die. And you will be. So that's the reason but we are not to think about that obstacle now. When you will reach that state, then it will be clear that even sattvika quality, though it is good, it takes us long way towards truth. But still, it can keep you waiting there. You feel happy by only sucking the honey. But you forgot you are the honey. So go further. Give up that sattva quality. That's why That will be the state of perfect absorption with ourselves. That's why it is in the worldly forest, tamas is darker, rajas is little reddish, and sattva is white. But still there is a difference of glass. Suppose there is a glass pane which separates from the infinite joy and this side. You can see through the glass pane the infinite joy going on the other side, but still you are keeping a separation. So sattva quality there takes us little away from that experience. So that is why. Now another question, how to consciously practice anannas chintayantu maam jijana purchupasate tesham nitya abhijuktanam ittadi in every moment in our life. Yeah, as you have said, how we will have to practice, we will have to remember. We will have to remember. Is it not? See, we are born. Who has arranged for your food? When you are born, He has organized, God has organized. Organized that there will be a mother will feed the baby. Who will take care? Suppose someone's mother passed away during delivery. What happens? Who takes care? Somebody comes in his place by the will of mother, by the will of God, takes care. No? So actually if we look back to our life, we will find the unseen hand of someone who is always protecting us, guiding us, nurturing us. But we don't know that it is God who is doing that. We give thanks to this person. My uncle has raised me all through the life. Yes, your uncle. But so many uncles are there in the world. Why they are not looking at their own nephew? Huh? Why not so many aunties are there, they are not looking after their brothers' children or sisters' children? Why you are being taken care of? It is God, it is God, God. So, it is a higher state. It is only possible for Ramakrishna-like people. So look at that. When he was extremely in doing sadhana, somebody came to feed him. When he was rolling in the ground, forgetful about his needs. Even he was in Jada Samadhi for 6 months. That's a historic statement that a person like anyone can stay in the 6 months continuously in Samadhi. He was in such, he became like inert. Where from one holy man came, and he with a rule in his hand, made of wood, used to beat him severely so that he comes to the body consciousness. And he used to read keep ready, one small ball of food. As soon as he comes down, he pushes into the mouth. That is the way Ramakrishna's body was protected. By whom? Who did that? It is Mother. Normally, we don't think. We think that because I am earning money, that's why this money is coming to me. This government is giving this $600, that's why I am getting this benefit. No one is doing. Only Mother is doing. Only Ramakrishna is doing. Or God is doing. When that conviction will come, then all our adoration, all our respect, all our offering will go to God and God alone. So it is a time-taking affair and it's a constant awareness. We should be aware of it. Anything happening, God is providing me. He will take care of me. I need not have to think of anything. We make mess when my ego comes. I will do this. That is the problem. Will you not do this? Nah, yes, in our level we will have to do positive action. But there is a higher level. When you reach a higher spiritual level, you will have to understand, you have to do nothing. Everything God is doing. So that state will come by long experience, long analysis and purity of the heart. When the mind will be over sattika quality more and more and more, then that will happen. Okay? So we have to practice, that is the point. Consciously practice. As you have said, how to consciously practice, I will say how to know, only practice consciously. Consciously practice. We forget whole day. But we can do, whenever we remember, we think, oh, Rabindranath Tagore has a beautiful verse. He says, Je keho more diyecho sukh, diyecho tari porichoy, tomarei ami nomi. O Lord, whoever has come in my life and have given me a little touch of joy, O Lord, it is you who have come. I salute you. But we do the opposite thing. Mr. Such and such, thank you, thank you, thank you. We write 10 thank you later. That should be in our level. But when you transcend a level, higher level, then you know that it is you. It is only God is sending everything. Here is a question. If there is a large fluctuation between the three gunas constantly within a short period of time, is there something that can be done about this state? Yes, we are always like that. Sometimes we fluctuate between the tamas to rajas and sattva very little. Yes, this is the play going on. We will have to be thinking of God, praying to God. No special means are there. And also to analyze why I am getting involved in the tamas quality, whereas I can involve myself in sattvika quality. Why I am getting rajas quality, why not I buy the same effort, sattvika quality? And then if you are sattvika quality, why I am not going to God? And only thinking of the sattva quality. So this is always we should be aware, conscious and prayerful and dedicated. Sincere practice, practice, practice. And prayer, oh Lord, I make a mess of it. Please help me. Because we pray one time it will happen, it is not so. We pray and with the tearful eyes we cry and pray and pray and pray and pray. Then by God's grace things will be smoothed. So spiritual life is like that. It is but you are thankful that you can understand that at least they are fluctuating in our life. Many people don't acknowledge that. Because I am doing right thing. With his anger, with his frustration, whatever he or she is doing, think I am doing right thing. No, I am not doing right thing. I am Atman. I should have to be established in my unfaltering joy inside. But this is a failure. But I shall think of God more, pray to God more, and reach that point. Okay? Come on, question more. Wow. When all three gunas are completely transcended, are there still any forces binding us? No, no, no. All the three gunas are completely, when it is transcended, then there are still the forces, nothing to bind anymore, because these are the three forces which binds us. Going beyond that is the state of Atman. And being in that state, once you go and you come down, then you will be under the sway of the three gunas. But you will not be bound anymore, because you are already once acknowledged your own divine self. So no more bondage. But this effort, the body will function within the three gunas. Body may be seen. That's why you read the sthita-prajna behaviors. They may be back into their body. They may behave sometimes differently. But they are not attached to that. That will not create any bondage for them. How will Prakriti affect us then? Yeah, Prakriti will work on the body. Your hunger will come. A Jivan Mukta, a person who after illumination comes down, walks on the street, Ramana Maharshi, all the saints, mystic saints of different religion. They walk, they talk, they eat, they sleep. They also become sometimes annoyed with somebody. But these, whatever they do, once they have reached that Trigunatita state, nothing will bind them, nothing will touch them, because their ignorance is burnt forever. But then why they are behaving like ordinary men? Because they are coming back to full end their prarabdha karma, the remnant for action period of the life, where there is a trajectory of this life. We started in such and such year, we will die such and such year. And the life goes through suffering, pleasure, pain, all these experience. When in the middle point, if someone gets liberated, what will happen? Then onward, the body will continue to go on, but it will not be attached like we are attached now. What then is the force that keeps the jiva fully surrendering to and attracted to the Atma? That is the jiva, because in that state of illumination, when one comes back out of illumination, they live in the body, but they totally think that I am nothing. It is God's play going on. God's leela, God's divine play is going on. So, let thy will be done. That becomes spontaneous experience. No one will have to teach them. If you go and tell them, no, it is not, they will say, okay, it is your understanding, but I understand this way. So, yes, nothing, fully surrender to them. There is no more force. Only force is the prarabdha. 3 types of karma. It is a different time we can talk about. 3 types of karma we are endowed with. One is the present karma, what I am doing. One I have done in my previous birth. What I have done in many, many lifetimes. All accumulated karma. Accumulated karma, sanchita. Kriyaman, now I am doing some karma. And this life is the impulse of some karma, which is destined to go in a particular way. That's called the prarabdha karma. So only prarabdha remains. Remnant of the prarabdha remains. If you have question, please, we can discuss in some other time, because time is up now. Okay? Another question. If God is the epitome of compassion, then why does He wait for her children to cry in order to lift them from misery? Yeah, this question cannot be answered, because it is God. That's why Ramakrishna says it is God's play. And God is playing with whom? If there is nothing but God, who is playing with whom? God is playing with God. So from our side, I am a different person, you are a different person, I am suffering. I am suffering because I have the ego. But when my ego will go, then I will see that there is God's ego is working. So everything is pulsating in the world by His will. And it is like the people, amateur people, those who want to make a theatrical group, and they make a theatrical group, and then they go to the theatrical group, and what they do? They play in different roles. Someone is with a friendly attitude, someone goes with a angry attitude, someone takes a sword in the hand to cut someone. But they are all friends. It's for fun. That is the understanding. That why God plays, we cannot say it is His fun. You say, oh, we are suffering. Where are you? You have no existence. It is God only. The same God in every form. Aham bhut sarvesu bhutesu bhutatma sada avastita in Bhagavat. I am in every bhuta created being, bhutatma, the Atman of the creation. I am standing there everywhere. And I am ruling everything. People are thinking that individual people are doing something. No one does anything. It is God's doing going on. Okay, thank you. Jai Ma. So we'll meet you in our today's special class starting today. We're not started last week. It is called the Shanti Ashram. Shanti Gita. Shanti Gita. So we'll start today. And for your knowledge, you can go on your YouTube, youtube.vedanta.
No. You just go to vedanta.org/shanti-.
Vedanta.org /Shanti-Gita. Shanti-Gita. Then you find the text in the Sanskrit or in English. Vedanta.org www Okay.
Vedanta.org.
Okay, Vedanta. Just type vedanta.org / Shanti-Gita. Very simple. Please again, vedanta.org / Shanti-Gita. If you type, then there you will find that introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2. But we have not put all.
We're sharing now on the chat.
Yeah, chat so that others can, when they come at 7:30.
Yeah, the chat is in the link, you can tell them.
Yeah. Oh, chat. In the chat there is a link. There is a link in the chat. You can get it now so that you will have the manuscript in your hand when we start reading the original verses there. Okay. Thank you. Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Off. Make it off.
I'm just waiting for the delay. It takes some time.
At the camera you can make it off.
I had to wait for like 15 seconds.